Hello everyone, welcome back. So recently I'd noticed that there was a lot of negativity going on and that we'd been covering a lot of that. So I thought to myself, well, let's cover something good for once, right? Make this a thing. Let me know down in the comments. So today we have U.S. Supreme Court won't rule on local climate cases. Fossil fuel giants have taken a massive legal hit after the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear their appeals against climate cases, be able to sue massive fossil fuel polluters thanks to a Supreme Court decision. As the climate crisis worsens, local governments are taking energy giants to court. Big Oil appealed 5 of these local cases to America's Supreme Court, but the court declined to hear them, setting an important precedent for future lawsuits. Campaigners have heralded the ruling as critical victory for climate litigation. Big oil companies have been desperate to avoid trials in state courts, where they will be forced to defend their climate lies in front of juries. And today the Supreme Court declined to bail them out, said Richard Wiles, the president of the Center of Climate Integrity. So what does this case mean for the future climate cases, and why are environmentalists so happy? I mean, tell me why they wouldn't be happy. This is no, state your case in front of a jury of people. If it gets pushed to the point of going to full court case with a jury of people to determine if you are guilty or not guilty, and see what they have to say about it. Try to pass your lies in front of them because they're not getting paid by you. That's one of the biggest wins I could imagine. All right, this is the next section. Why are local governments taking oil giants to court? As the climate crisis bites, extreme weather is wreaking havoc around the world. From adaptation systems to disaster response, the necessary measures don't come cheap. So who should foot the bill? In the US, local governments funded by taxpayers pay for many of these services, but the governments of several cities and states want oil giants to cough up. They argue that fossil fuel giants knew about the dangers of global warming back in the 1980s, but failed to do anything about it. Several leaks of the internal memos have shown that in the past, oil companies hid signs which revealed how emissions would contribute to global warming. Oh wow, yeah, there's no surprise there. Of course they had the science for that. They were the ones primarily with the most money to fund that science, and at the time, that was their job. It was to understand everything about what it was they were doing, so if anything did come up, they could deal with situations like this, cover it up for as long as possible, or pay off whoever they need to in order to pass the laws in order to keep going down this fucked up rabbit hole. That's just how they act. That's always how it's been. Now we get to why this all matters. 5 local governments, the state of Rhode Island and the municipalities in California, Colorado, Hawaii, and Maryland, sued Exxon, Chevron, Suncor Energy to help pay for climate bills. These cases were brought within the last 5 years. The oil giants lost in their lower courts, and today the Supreme Court refused to hear their appeals. This is not because of the court, which is largely filled with conservative appointed judges, is pro-climate action. Rather, the judges believe that the long-standing precedents give the local courts the right to hear cases in their jurisdictions, and that the Supreme Court can't intervene. It means that future cases will now be heard in state courts. Oil giants are far less likely to win here, as they are heard in front of a jury. Now, you tell me that doesn't sound like exactly what I said earlier. Just like, no, you're gonna have to say this in front of a bunch of civilians, essentially, just people living their daily lives, some of them with higher end jobs, some of them with lower end jobs. These are just people that received a notice in the mail. Maybe you got a special jury, who knows, but I doubt it, and now they'd actually be held accountable. I love that. Cases will now be processed across the United States, and local climate litigators have heralded the ruling as a huge win. Today, the court affirmed what we know to be true. Our case deserves its day in local courts, where our communities experience the impacts and cost of climate change, said Aaron Brookett, mayor of Boulder, Colorado, where a local case will now proceed in the state court. Oil companies are making record profits while our planet continues to warm. It's only fair that the companies that profit from irresponsible actions compensate communities for the harm they cause. The counsel for Chevron said that the wasteful lawsuits will do nothing to advance global climate solutions and nothing to reduce emissions. Oh, of course that's what they're going to claim. But regardless, they're going to have to now front the bill, provided they actually lose the lawsuits whenever they get fronted to them. Oh, that's amazing. I hope to hear more about this in the future. I want to hear about all the lawsuits going against these big oil companies, because they've always been a problem. With what you can see from the effects and what we've experienced just over the last decade, and how those two things correlate, I don't see how it's arguable what's going on here and how they can keep denying it and justifying what they're doing just for a bigger paycheck. The money's not going to mean anything when the world's burned to ash, so. Either way, I hope you found today's video informative. Let me know what you think. We'll see as time goes, but yeah, like, share, and subscribe if you liked the video. Leave a comment down there in the comment section, and yeah, have yourselves a good day. Thanks for watching.